Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to do a complete Elliott waves analysis on Ethereum Classic's price chart, and I'm going to tell you why the picture in here looks so simple and yet at the same time extremely complicated. So, are you ready? Let's start by seeing what is going on in the long term, starting from the lowest low down here back in 2016 to all the way up here about $170 back in May of 2021. And as you can see, in my view, we are just having the subwaves for a beautiful looking ABC zigzag. This is 1 2 3 4 5 into A, followed by an A B C D E, a triangle into wave B, and then yet another 5 wave on the upside. Very strong move into R wave C. Followed by that, what is happening in this whole phase? In my opinion, there's actually a very good argument to be made for Ethereum Classic to have hit its final low right in here about, let's say, if I just hide everything, as you can see, the $12.50 area. Why? Two reasons. Number one, you are absolutely able to find from here to about this point a WXY in form of a double zigzag. Number two, let's go around here. You see, if you want to say that we're going to have our final low around this region, then okay, show me off of the lowest low, a 1 2 3 4 5, in order for me to flip bullish. This specific example is called an impulse. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, wave 3 is simply not allowed to be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, 5 wave up into wave 1, 3 and 5, there we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different scenarios, doesn't really matter. Let's say, yeah, okay, sure. WXY into wave 2, and yep, an ABC into wave 4. Let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. And first things first, this is a very strong move on the upside, which is, in case that you are a regular viewer, you know what I'm about to say, a very important characteristic of an impulsive movement. And in here, I think we can all safely assume that this is a beautiful looking pitch perfect 1 2 3 4 5 wave up. So the fact that number one, you are able to find complete subwaves for a correction to about the lowest low, and number two, you are also able to find beautiful 5 wave off of it, is a very good sign, suggesting maybe we have hit our final low in ATC. Question: what is happening after a 5 wave on the upside in case that the low is in and you want to go according to the most optimistic possibility? You know it, we are going to have a move down, but here's a catch. That move must be a very slow and choppy one down in form of a correction structure, and I believe we are having in here an ABC flat. And if I just go around here, okay, sorry about that one. Here is what a flat looks like. This is our initial move down into a correction for wave B, which in it we are going to get very close to this important high, and then another move down into our C leg, and this can end either before we take the low of our A leg, or maybe we're just going to go a bit lower than that, and then we can say, okay, that is it, the low of our correction, and from here we can expect a massive move up. And when it comes to sub waves, ABC down into A, ABC up into B, and yep, a 1 2 3 4 5 down into our C leg. And let's go in here. Okay, so let's zoom in more. As you can see, this is ABC down into our A leg, followed by ABC on the upside to about, sorry about that one, what just happened, to around this high into wave B. And what is happening in here? I think we had 5 down into 1, correction for 2, 1 2 3 4 5 wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5 to about this low. The question is, can we argue that our correction has ended, and from here in Ethereum Classic we are going to get like a very strong bull run? The answer is yes, but it's actually complicated, and this is why at the beginning of the video I said the mid to long term structure in ETC looks very simple, but at the same time there are some issues here and there, and this is kind of a big one. You see, in my view, there's actually a good chance that in here we are having 5 wave up, correction down, and yet another 5 wave on the upside. And pay attention, in this phase down we actually took this important slow. So what does that mean? I'm thinking maybe in Ethereum Classic, this is 5 up into A, this is correction for wave B, another 5 up into C, meaning whatever move on the upside that we are having, it's just going to fall into the category of a corrective movement. And it means what? Well, after this is over, we can expect another big move down in order to take the lowest low all the way down here about, let's say, $12.6. But any analyst at any given moment should be 100% objective and be able to find a bullish and also a bearish count at the same time. And what we just talked about here is just the bearish scenario. What about a possible bullish count? And that can be a bit tricky, but nonetheless, it is still possible. So let's go on 30-minute time frame and zoom in more in here. Here is the deal. You see, you are able to find a 5-wave in Ethereum Classic from this point to about here, but you are also able to say that maybe this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave up to about this point. This is yet another 5-wave, and I guess you can say maybe on a higher degree we are having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the upside, meaning the low is actually in, and this is a magnificent bullish setup. But why did I say earlier that the structures in here, if you want to be bullish, is a bit tricky? Because do you remember earlier in the video I said wave 3 under any kind of circumstances should not be the smallest wave, right? Well, let's measure our supposedly wave 1 in this scenario, starting from this point to about this height and compare to our wave 3. As you can see, by like a very small margin, seems like that wave 3 is actually the smallest wave in here. And that is kind of a problem. But if you are willing to kind of ignore the fact that by like the smallest margin, wave 3 is the smallest wave in here, okay, at that point, you know what, maybe we are actually bullish and this is a 5-wave up. And in that scenario, well, okay, in Ethereum Classic, from here we can actually expect like a very strong move on the upside in order to start the next major phase of the bull run. Question is, which scenario is going to be at the moment my primary case? I honestly do not have a good answer for you. I think at the moment we should just simply take every single thing in ETC step by step and watch the current price action very closely and see what are we going to have next. Are we going to have from here another move up in order to take this high, which will be a great sign, or maybe we are going to have from here a very strong move down in order to take this low down here about $14.5. If we do this, it will be a very bad sign, suggesting, you know what, we were actually right all along and this whole move is a correction, and we can at that point, I don't know, maybe like expect another 50 to even 60% move down. On the other hand, if we get yet another move on the upside in order to take this side, okay, at that point I think we might be able to be bullish with a bit more confidence. So for now, all eyes on the current move and see what are we going to do, and in the next videos we are going to talk about this specific phase in more details. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Ethereum Classic. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel, and also follow me on Twitter. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.